Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Expanded View. This is episode 3, today live on Monday, July 27, 2020. Thank you so much for being here with us today. And I'm Alara Canfield, and
I'm Kimberly Crow, otherwise known as Gaga, by this
Exactly.
3-year-old that's helping us today.
Exactly. It's going to be so much fun. So Kimberly's granddaughter is with her. So we will hear her in the background, but how much fun is that, right? Having the energy of a 3-year-old with us. It's going to definitely make us more playful.
Exactly. She's been full of play today, that's for sure.
Yeah, I bet. I'm sure. So I wanted to just welcome everybody to the show. And today, Kimberly and I are going to talk about soul alignment and what that looks like, what that means, as well as, raising your vibration, etc. But also we're going to answer a question that we had from one of our viewers last week about crystals and where to get crystals. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about that. And then we're going to talk about what else is going on personally, business-wise for each of us, and whatever else comes up with, Kimberly's granddaughter. I don't want to say her name, so it's like
whatever she wants to share with us.
Yeah, whatever she wants to contribute, right? So, so let's start off first, Kimberly. Let's just quickly talk about, where can people get crystals, right? So, I know when I first started getting crystals, I did buy a few on eBay, but I mostly bought my crystals from a local supplier, right? So from a retail store in my community, but some also from a, she was retail, but she was wholesale. Like that was her business, crystal healing. So she had a lot of crystals and she had really good prices. And oh my goodness, I bought a lot of crystals from her. But now I do buy retail mostly because, it's, with shipping and everything to Austria, it's ridiculous. But I have bought some great Andorra pieces, etc., from my good friend Irma K. Sawyer, and she's wonderful. She, I think, I don't know, I bought too many, to be honest, a lot, right? I also bought from her this beautiful pendant as well, and lots of other things. But, I try and buy from people that I know, so Irma K. Sawyer is one of them. I also have my good friend Raven Many Voices. She also sells crystals, etc. And now I've noticed that my other good friend Maya Boston in Australia, she also sells crystals, right? But, when you buy from online or somebody who's not in your local town, you're going to have to pay for shipping and sometimes customs, right? Custom duties, etc. Right? Mm-hmm. So, I like to find a local place where I can shop, and if I have to pay a little bit extra, it's okay. I haven't bought anything on eBay, Amazon or anything like that. But where do you shop, Kimberly? I mean, locally, if you can, even though it is retail, you're still going to get a better deal and sometimes better quality than online, or definitely not Amazon, like that kind of thing.
Well, my journey with how I've purchased crystals has been a little bit different, because when like you, I bought locally from people that, a lot of mine came from Arkansas originally, because people in Kentucky they would go to dig. So there was a little shop that I bought locally. And honestly, this is my journey with it. I actually set up a crystal grid. I had a shaman that I was working with, and he taught me how to listen to the crystals, and then how to have them to help me manifest. And when he was holding my crystal, he actually said to me, he looked at me and laughed, because I was setting grids up intuitively and sleeping with crystals all night. Mm-hmm. And he said, your crystal said for you to sleep with a man that knows about crystals instead of with the crystals. And I said, excellent idea. Oh, so I set up a crystal grid because I was already ready to start teaching classes. And I set up a grid and asked for the crystals to bring me a person that I could actually get crystals at my fingertips. And like 2 days later, a client came in. She had a Labradorite, and there was a little store in my town, and the guy was never home. He was never ever at his store. And I went running down there in between clients, and he ended up being my partner for many years. And he was actually a Labrador artist himself. Like, he dug the stones out of the earth himself and cut them. This is one of the, I actually have on one of the pieces he made me. It's a boulder opal that's still in the matrix. So it took me straight into the wholesale world. And I used to go out to Tucson and buy there, and I still go to North Carolina, to the Franklin, North Carolina, and buy straight from the, like, I know, I mean, there's still middlemen, but not as middlemen as the other. Yeah. So I know the quality, and I know what's been dyed and what hasn't been. And there's a lot of that, you know, when you're buying off of eBay, Amazon, sometimes your quality is not going to be the same. You can connect to somebody that you can trust, but sometimes you're going to get a lot of things that, like, they're dyeing howlite and magnesolite to look like turquoise, and it's not really turquoise. If you find cheap turquoise, it's not turquoise.
Yeah, and you can tell just by looking at it. You can tell, you can pick up on the energy of it as well. I mean, I also,
energy.
Yeah, I also trained. Sorry, I was going to say, I also trained as a crystal healer as well, and I had my own crystal shop before I moved here to Vienna. So I was also working with wholesalers as well to sell crystals. So it's like when I had to buy retail, I was like, oh God, you know.
And so I have tons of inventory there, because there used to be another store, somebody that I knew, the owner of the metaphysical store, and I had friends that were in the business, and then I was bringing things to them, you know. Yeah. So I have tons of inventory from when the year he's crossed over now. And the year before he died, we did 52 shows that year. I mean, that's how many shows we were doing on the road. And so I still have a lot of inventory. Hi. Hi. This is my little avatar granddaughter.
So
say
hi. Hi. Oh my goodness, you're so cute.
She's 3 now. Her birthday was July the 11th. So she is like, she came in on master numbers, and she's 3 years old now. See, I'm a big girl. Yeah.
She is a big girl. My goodness. And time goes by so fast. I remember when she was born, it's like, oh my goodness.
I know. I did a picture this week when the stuff showed up in my memories. And you know, her mother at this age is who actually took me into the crystal world. We were at a flea market, you know, just a flea market. And my daughter, she was between 3 and 4. She picked up a rose quartz, and she was like, the way she's been going gaga gaga, you know. And I was talking to the guy that had the stones, and my daughter was pulling on me and going, mommy, and you know, and I kept talking to the guy, and she finally got my attention, and she said, why is this rock so hot in my hand? And she handed it to me, and it was on, I mean, it was like a hot cold. And then of course it went cool in my hand. Yeah. And I looked up at the guy, because the crystal world was just opening to me. And lots of times you can find people at flea markets and stuff like that are the rock hounds themselves. Yeah. So with that, if you can find a local rock hound club, then you can connect straight to the guys that are going and getting stones. And then if they're even from your area, then that's even a plus for you, because the stones will have energy connected to the areas that you're living in. And a lot of the rockhound groups don't really, they're not metaphysical with it. You know, they're into the hobby of digging the stones and making jewelry and stuff like that. And if you can connect into that, they will be less expensive than buying, because you're buying straight from the person that's getting them out. So if you can find those connections, and then the quality is going to be there. And then sometimes, you know, like me, like that's what Jay was doing. And then I traveled with him, and then I would tell him the metaphysical stuff of the jewelry, you know. Yeah. that happened, and the guy, we handed the rock back to her, the rose quartz back to her, and then back to him, and he looked at her, and he was like, "Oh my goodness, that's her stone." And he, his girlfriend was Cherokee, and she was the one that it was all her stuff, and he was just selling it for. And then I met her, so the crystals brought people like that into my life. It's like it was like the vibration, they kept drawing people to me because I asked them to bring that to me, and then I was working with them in that way. So it was always just kind of there for me. And so that's been more my journey. And, you know, and then because of what we're doing, I know so many people that are, you know, connected in that way.
Absolutely.
And like I said, I have tons of inventory myself in my own house.
I know. I mean, if you were to look at my desk, you would see maybe there's like 50 stones right on my desk, on this desk right here.
Right.
You know? And it's crazy. And they're all over. They're all over the house. And it's like, and you know, when I came here, I had to sell everything, right? I had to give away.
Oh, I know. I remember those big amethysts that you had for sale, because they were huge.
They were huge, and I loved them so much.
I mean, there's as big as this refrigerator back here. I'm not kidding. They were huge. They were that tall anyway.
Yeah,
it's like they were really big.
Yeah, but I couldn't.
I wanted those so bad. I was like, oh, if I lived closer to her, I would go get those amethysts.
But that's the thing. I mean, I got a really good price. I got like the wholesale price for those from the person that I was getting all my stuff from in Ottawa. And, you know, now it's like, oh, I wish I had a contact here. But if not, you know, I do like to go to the crystal and gem shows, because there you do also get some really good deals, you know, and, you know, find some unique pieces, right? So, you know, there are ways to get crystals. So you can there's always a way. But I would, you know, try not to go via eBay or Amazon as much as you can. Go to somebody that you know and trust. Even a local retailer it's better and more trustworthy, because actually when you go to a local store, you can pick up the crystals and hold them in your hand and see how you feel.
And when they if it turns hot like that in your hand, if it turns hot like that in your hand, then they're yours. They're activating to you. And that's one of the ways to know the ones that you're drawn to. And just because some book says something about it, that doesn't mean that that's going to be what it's going to do for you in that moment. It can be bringing in a different vibration. Exactly. So the crystals took me into a whole world. Because of that experience with my daughter at that age, I was awakening then, and I was studying, you know, healing touch and Reiki and everything else. Like all that was going on at the same time. And she could see auras at this age. And I knew she was an indigo, and that, I mean, she saw all the planes of existence. So it took me on the voyage into studying everything I could, because I had a magical child that I thought was going to have questions, and I needed to know these answers for her.
Absolutely.
Well, it was just intuitive for her and innate with what her journey was. And she knew what she knew. She didn't need any answers from me, you know?
And that's the thing,
the children are so pure.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And you allowed her to be her, you know, allowed her to, you know, expand even those interests if she wanted to, you know?
Exactly. And she did, you know, because what do you do when your mom's an open, you know, hippie gypsy chick? You have to rebel some way. So she did get very, very conservative, but it's came back around. And, you know, and she has asked me to get her big crystals, you know. It's like she's got some clusters, but I noticed that in her bedroom, like she's put a little thing up and she's put stones in there now. And she was always connected to them. And of course, this one, when she's over at my house, all of the grids and stuff and things are set up, and she's over there. I have a crystal, whale that somebody gave me. And she's drawn to that one all the time, and she'll carry it around. And I told her she could have it for her own bedroom. You know, we just haven't brought it over here yet. And so that's another thing, when you can, like when you have the crystals that have been carved like that by somebody, and they're in the animals, you know, then there's the connection to that too. And then it'll bring that in. And then they're connected to the land itself of where they come from. And then they'll bring the vibration of that into you too.
Awesome. Beautiful.
So
hopefully that helps, so, do what you can, trust your knowing, right? See what's coming up for you. But definitely, I mean, I love crystals and rocks. I have tons and I would love to have more. There's always more, right? So go out and take a look. Like I'll put the links in afterwards for Irma. She has a shop online here on Facebook. Raven has a shop here online on Facebook. And
I didn't know Raven had one, so that's good to know.
Yeah. So those are both,
I've got a friend too that's got a shop, and I'll ask her, hers is called the Alchemy Altar, and she's got like a Facebook store, and I definitely trust her vibration and the energy that she's bringing in.
Yeah, exactly. So, we will put those links up, and in the future, we'll have them come on the show and talk about their shops as well. So we'll have Irma come on, we'll have Raven come on, talk about their shops, and then you can get more information from them about crystals and other stuff, right? So it's not just crystal, but other stuff too that they sell in their shops. All right, so so today, Kimberly, we're going to talk about soul alignment, alignment of your soul.
Yes.
Let's do it. And Kimberly's like, oh yeah. So
I was seeing what she was doing to the dog. I was like, okay, it's her dog. I guess he's used to this.
Yeah, exactly.
She had the bubble gun. I gave her she's got a gun that I got her for her birthday that blows bubbles. Mm-hmm. And so she was like doing stuff with him. With it.
Neo loves playing with bubbles. We have, not a gun per se, but we have bubbles, and he loves it when we blow bubbles. He loves to catch them, so we just do it for a few minutes, not very long.
Yeah.
He loves it.
Okay, let me grab a banana for her real fast, and then I'll talk about soul alignment. So I'm going to go.
Yeah, so in the meantime, we're going to talk about soul alignment and what does that look like? What does that mean? And really what it, for me, part of what that looks like is you being in integrity with your soul, right? You being in congruency with your soul and what your soul desires, requires, but, being tapped into your soul, being tapped into your higher self, being tapped into your consciousness, not just the personality, not just the ego, not just the mind, right? And then when you are connected, when you are functioning from that place of congruency, of alignment, then when you use crystals and other tools, they work more efficiently because you're already in the flow, you're in the zone, and you're in alignment with what it is that you are doing, being, and having, etc. Right?
Every morning when I get up, sometimes I do it before I even go to bed, or when I lay down. Here's your banana. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'll ask to align with my soul. So that way, when things come in, if I am going to dream, because I have crazy dreams, and then at least, I know that it's like some kind of alignment of something that's coming in. And the way I see it, it's like, I actually see a triangle here that we're like so assimilated in, and then it came in at the heart here at the sternum, and then it's like that's the home. And so it's like, this is like spirit, that, that part that's always been in the top of the apex, and this is soul, and this is like your human, and they're the foundation at the bottom. And it's like, because when they align to each other, because the soul and the human aspect are literally partners, together on this lifehood that we're in. And so it's the soul is evolving through its evolution, and it utilizes the human and the humans, the gifts that it brings in through its DNA for its soul evolution. Like they came together in a partnership for the soul's evolution. And so when you align to spirit, then that energy comes down and will go directly into these two, and then you have a foundation that way. If they're not in alignment, then they're like this sometimes with each other. They're in this, they're going like this. One of them wants to go this way, one of them wants to go this way. And then there's more conflict that happens within your, in your life. And so if you come into alignment and recognize that it's this partnership, then things can be more graceful. You can move through it in more grace, because the soul knows it's infinite, and it's going to get, it come in with its agendas because it had its own karmic things, and and for the agenda of the ascension of the whole evolution of all of cosmos. It's bigger than just here. It's bigger than just human consciousness. It's bigger than that. So it has that connection to all of that. So sometimes if your human aspect, when it's not in alignment with soul, and soul is like ready for that next evolutionary experience, that's when like everything falls out from under your life and you hit rock bottom because it's ready for that next evolutionary experience. And the humans like holding on to all of the stuff in the 3D, and it's not walking into that in grace and divine. And when you align to it, then all of those things like we were talking about, like using crystals as a tool, when you're in that kind of alignment, you'll hear the crystals, but you'll also hear like soul say, use this today, use that. I mean, you'll just know, like everything will go into,
well, it's kind of like you're in the flow at that point.
You're in the flow.
Right? You're in the flow, you're on tap, you're on target, you're totally in tune with what's going on, with who you are, what you're doing. And and it's important to recognize when you're not, right? And so I just did a process with one of my groups earlier today, and it was, tapping, connecting with the higher self and asking questions about, am I in balance? Am I in alignment? Where am I out of balance? Where am I out of alignment? And then what the next step is, right? So, yes, we can ask every day to be in alignment, but let's face it, from the time that we wake up to the time we go to sleep, we are shifted out of alignment millions of times in the day by our thoughts, by our feelings, by everything that comes up, right? So it's like we would have to continually ask, right? So it is a process, it's not like it's not like just one time and that's it. It is a process, and it is about being conscious and aware of when you are in alignment and when you're not, right? And
yeah, if you're trying to make a big decision about something, but if even using the word ask, it's actually more simple than that, because it's just like this when it happens, like you can feel the difference in it. And it's usually when you're trying to make a decision. If I'm trying to make a decision about something, sometimes I don't, it's like, okay, is this my discernment or is it my resistance?
mm-hmm.
If I'm like in that place of, is it a resistance thing? And if I just push through this, then it's going to be a whole nother, or is it discernment not to go this direction? Right. So sometimes I check in with that. And even if it is, it's still just an experience. If it is resistance, then you will walk through the experience when you're in alignment really fast, because things will shift. And when you're in that alignment, something like that, maybe you've been trying to make a choice about, it may just move out of your field. Like it's not even in your awareness anymore. Like whatever it was just collapses, it's gone. The opportunity's not there anymore. And when that happens, then it's like this or something better. It's like then it was like you got your aha, you had some kind of knowing that the human doesn't have to go through that experience.
Yeah.
And when you realize that's what's really happening.
Yeah. And that's when you recognize, oh, okay, so that opportunity or whatever that was, that didn't work out, it's because I wasn't in alignment with it, or that was not in alignment with me, and right. who I am at the soul level, right?
Yes.
Because sometimes we forget there's a difference between soul level you and your personality you, right? And so you want to always, as much as you can, be conscious of the soul level you, so that you can experience more grace and more flow. Because the personality, it's not always going to know what it feels like to be in flow and be in alignment, right?
Yes. And if it's something that is really, I'm going to use the word necessary, lack of another word, for the soul, for its alignment, it'll bring it back to you again. It might be in a different form, but if it's something that, it will bring it back. Because even us talking about crystals, that it's been several years ago, and I was teaching crystal classes and traveling and teaching classes and all of that. And I just did a poll in my own membership to ask them what did, because I could teach anything. I just tap into the quantum field of things.
Yeah.
And so I asked them, no, don't give him your banana. She's giving the dogs her bananas now.
The dog doesn't like bananas. My Neo does not like bananas.
This one does, but it's like, it's like, anyway. You can if you want to. They're in alignment with each other.
Do what you want.
It will bring it back around if it's really something for you. And that's been coming back up for me again. And I mean, I designed all these crystal classes. I taught them. I've got this inventory, and people are asking for crystals again. And so it's like, so I sat this week and was doing inventory of what makes me happy. What do I do that's like joyous when I do it?
Right.
And out of all of the things that I have done and like the different growth that I have went through and where I'm at now, it's like doing this type of stuff, the conversations and in my membership, it's like I love sharing and being in that place of it. I loved when I taught the crystal classes. Out of everything that I did, that was just fun. It was like so fun doing the levels of it and in my art, and so I've been looking at that. So it's like it feels like the soul is going, okay, you've had all these experiences, you've came to this level. Now what was fun? Go back and play with it and use those tools of, because I feel like I've kind of burned through my soul karma, and that I had some family and DNA karma that I have worked on in the last couple of years. And now it's like this place of, okay, let's have fun with this life.
And that's the thing, but you can have fun, right? With whatever it is that you choose to do, you can have fun with it, be, joyful with it and light with it and create, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's the zone that you're in.
The soul wants to have it wants to have a joyous experience here. I mean, that's the most soulful thing that you can do.
Yeah.
Is have, is that part of it. Yeah.
So that there was somebody had posted or commented on about listening to the body as well, right? So Jennifer had talked about listening to your body, right? So listening to your body, listening to your soul, right, etc., being alignment. But yeah, listening to your body, because when your body is out of alignment, that's when you can get disease, or things can show up. So it really is important to connect to your body too and listen to your body, to have a relationship and conversation with your body as well, right? Absolutely.
Right, and so to take you through those alignments with that to your body, checking in with stuff. I mean, I drop into my inner committee room and talk to all of that, and see, and then it'll even direct me in, like, you need more water, or a supplement or something like that. Like something just shows up and you have a realization, my system needs more of that support right now.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
It kind of just brings it to you.
Yeah, when you're in alignment, right? When you're listening to your body, when you're listening to your soul, when you're listening to your higher self, when you're in relationship with all of that, right? Instead of just
it's divine
being in your
grace.
head.
I mean, that's the way I look at it. You're in flow with your own divine grace. It's like that type of that. To me, those words it's hard sometimes when we're talking about this to have words that actually on this, in our language that explain all of it.
Absolutely. But, for me, it's about being, in flow, being in alignment, the grace flowing, through you, as you, all of that. Right. So absolutely. So yes, it is a great, I was going to say great practice, but no, it's a necessity to be in alignment. And right now, especially, we really have to tap in, tap into your soul, tap into your higher self, tap into your body, so that you can continue to be in awareness of what is right now, right? So it's a really important time. I'm hearing a lot of clicking.
When there's so much information that's coming in so many ways, and and that's it's like you don't have to take all of that in, and when you know what's not your assignment. You know, like for me right now, with the situation that's happening on the whole globe, you know, my assignment is to be anchoring in as much light as possible to, you know, as we bring in this new age. And, you know, there's other people that have other assignments with it. It doesn't, I'm trying to find these pages.
So that's a great, that's okay. So that's a great question to ask yourself. What is my assignment right now? You know,
exactly.
So,
in this now, in this moment.
In this moment now, right? What is your assignment now? Not what was my assignment when I first was born or came here. No, right now. What is your assignment now? Right? And you can ask that question of yourself. You can ask that question of your soul at any time. Just get quiet, go to your heart space, expand out a little bit, and just ask. Be still and ask that question. What is my assignment now? And see what you get.
Yeah, and some of the things that we move through and lay down, they're not our assignment anymore. It was just what it was at the time, and then you move into the next assignment, you know?
Yeah.
And that's where you're at with it, and it'll guide you to that, and then you'll go, oh yeah, because sometimes when people ask me, are you still doing this or doing that? And it's like, oh yeah, I did teach that. I forgot about that. I forgot I was doing that. But I also find for me, all of my tools and modalities, you know, I just turn it loose. And when I work with people, I call it soul sessions. And I ask their soul to show me what's most relevant to them in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And because I'm multidimensional in the way I work with people, it might be something in their body and medical direction that I get information. It could be something about their pets, or it could be what their next, you know, the next job coming in for them is here, or what's sabotaging them, the belief patterns that's there that, you know, is sabotaging them from going into their alignment and their divine flow. And so it's like the soul, it will tell me all of those things. So I'll see it, you know, on all of those levels. Like it knows where support can be, more support can be given.
Mm-hmm. And so that's the thing. It's like, you know, reach out, talk to somebody, if, you know, but also trust your knowing too, right? And trust yourself as you go deeper within, you know, when you do your meditation or reflection, etc. Take that time to just go in and ask the question. Okay. Just ask the question. What's my next step? What is my mission here now? What is my assignment here right now? Right. And also at the same time, ask, what would it take for me to be in alignment with my soul's choices? Okay.
That's a really good one, because when I say, you know, that I ask to come in alignment and that, it's really more that, and then you surrender it, and then it's like it shows up. It's like, okay, let's do this, and we're working together, and that's that human and your soul, you know, that you're here together. You're like a partner, and it's creating this. You know, flip that over, and that's a heart. But it's like that's what is, you know, happening when you're in that divine flow with it. Yeah.
So that's a good point that you mentioned. You know, like once after you ask the question, right, then let go. Trust the answer that you get. Trust the message that you get, even if it's just a feeling. Trust it, and then let go of trying to control it, right? But try and take the next step, whatever that happens to be. But sometimes just having the awareness of what it is going to give you so much more information and more confidence in yourself as to what the next step is. So ask the question, right? Be with it. And surrender at how to do it, right? Surrender that control notion. I know we're all control freaks here. But surrender that, let that go, and just be with it for a little while, and then say, okay, now that I know, what's my next step? And so who are you asking? You're asking yourself. You're asking your soul. You're asking your higher self. You're asking your body. You're asking all of you, okay, what's my next step now?
It's like the totality of all of who you are, all of your essence. It's like that's what you're working with when you're stepping into that. It's your own trinity, you know. It's like all of it together, and then you may start connecting even more, you know, past this lifehood, like in other experiences, and you know, that type of stuff, that the soul has a broader expanded view.
Exactly. And the thing is, you know, we've talked about us being multidimensional, but so are you. You are a multidimensional being of light. So don't forget that. You are a multidimensional being of light, all right? So remember that, you know, so you are not just one thing, you know, not just in one time and space either. So
no, we've got, because the soul itself is, it's living in, you know, several places at once. It's like it's embodied in more than one thing. It gets a whole lot bigger, and you start having more, the more you're in alignment, you start having more information about stuff like that. And some of it's beneficial and some of it's just new age, whatever, you know. It's kind of like, okay, well, how does that really serve me today? And there's been times, because in the crystal classes that I designed, one of them was a crystal journey. And you actually, because the crystals will put your brain into theta state, okay? And in theta, that's the same state that where manifestation happens. It's the same state that they, you know, like prayer. It's like when you're in that place and then you're connected into that. And the stones themselves carry that. It's piezoic energy, which is, it is, you know, it transforms energy. It's a connector. That's why they use crystals in spaceships that fly, you know, that they use them in different things, because it's actually an energy thing that happens. So when you use them on yourself, it can take you into that. And I use them to travel, to go into that place, to see a bigger picture of something.
And there's many ways that you can use crystals, you know, so
right.
This is just one way, right?
Right. And so if there's I used to do that a lot when I was doing hands-on and in-person things, that the crystal journeys, where the person, their self, would travel to their most, to bring their gifts back that may had been, they left behind due to trauma. And so they were basically collecting their own accumulated knowledge and bringing it back into this time to use now. So there's a whole vastness of all of treasures of like that for you, you know, and that maybe some belief system or some sabotage and belief system in this lifetime was blocking you from that information. So I used them in that way to so people could connect to their soul alignment, and, you know, really fast. It's like it seems to it supports the energy in that way.
Yeah, but don't think that you need to have a crystal before you can align to your soul, okay? No, so that's just a tool. Again, you know, it's just a resource. It's just a tool. You don't need anything to align to your soul other than your intention, your desire, your wish, your command, whatever word you want to use, okay? So
and you know, it's not something separate, because it's like you are it, you embody it. Yeah. It's like
it's basically just about getting out of your head. That's all it is, really. Getting out of your head.
To your heart. Yeah.
That's it. All right. So, okay. So let's talk about what's going on this week, Kimberly, for you.
What's going on with me is this energy that's coming in of this money is magic, and connecting all of the parts of everything together and taking us out of this 3D container and into that alchemy of ourselves. So that's what my big focus is right now. I just did a call in my membership yesterday, and it was amazing. The energies, I did hot seats yesterday. And so anytime you're in those hot seats with everybody, that synergy of the whole group coming together can even amplify up the energy for everybody. So that's where I'm going right now. I've got a special going on my membership that it's only I think it's $22 a month. It's either 20 or 22.
I don't know. You have to go to the website.
$22 for the whole year. And that's going to close this week, because it's closing, because I'm going to do that call on the 8/8. And then I'm creating like a container of people that want to dive deep into this journey with this. You know, it's not going to be an open container that people can come in and out until we move through some of these processes together. Awesome. So that's what I'm doing right now.
So you can find out more at KimberlyCrow.com.
Yeah.
Awesome. And so for me, I have my membership call coming up right after this. So in about 20 minutes. And so this, for my membership, it's called the Inner Circle. And basically we have a call every week, Mondays at 4 p.m. Eastern. And it's basically whatever is coming up for you, we do clearing and healing work for that. So we'll be doing they're all hot seats. So we're going to get ready for that in just like 20 minutes. But also this week, I'm doing a call on Thursday, which is like a healing clearing call, but we're going to be working with the divine feminine goddess Lakshmi. So I'm excited about that. So that's on, that'll be on Thursday. And last week, you know, I was supposed to do a show with Kathleen Haley, but on like an hour before the show started, I got hurt when I was walking Neo, and I hurt my knee and I couldn't sit in the seat. So I had to reschedule. So this week, Wednesday, we have Grace G. Home on the show. So I'm looking forward to that. And then Kathleen will be on Friday. So a full week, but lots of fun, lots of calls. And we're still, this is the last week of the Higher Dimension Healing Intensive for July 2020. So again, those are wonderful calls that I do every day for 21 days. So much fun, all sorts of clearings and processes and, you know, healing, clearing processes. And we work with a lot of the Ascended Masters, the angels, the goddesses, the galactics, and whoever is showing up in that moment. So lots to do, lots to look at this week. But really, it's really important to, you know, like we were talking about soul alignment, really get in touch with who are you? Why are you here? What is your mission now, right, in this moment? What is your next step? And, you know, because right now we need you. We need you to be, you know, fulfilling your assignment right now, whatever it happens to be. We need you to be you. We need you to be in alignment with your soul. We need you to show up. We need you to serve, you know, and we need you to just be you, support you, nurture you, your family, your loved ones, your community. And we're so grateful that you are here with us, watching this show, whether you're live or watching later. If you have comments, again, you know, type them in the comments section, and just let us know what else you would like us to talk about, you know, for next week, right? What's coming up for you that you'd like to talk to us about or have us talk about. And also, you know, let us know in the comments, you know, what is your assignment right now? And how can we support you? Kimberly, anything else you want to add to that?
Yeah, that the energy of that and how we can support you and how it's opening up that gift that we are. Something that too came to mind. I do wire wrap jewelry, and so when I make a piece for somebody, like a customized piece, I tap into your soul frequency and the energy of that, and then I download it specifically with your own light language and your codes, so that when you have it, it's like it helps activate what's ready to activate within your own system. And I've done that forever, and then I forget to tell people that I do those.
Awesome. I'm glad you did.
Like, it's time for me to stop hoarding up all of my crystals and let them go out into the world.
Go. Yeah, let them go to work with other people, right? Because and that's the thing, you know, when you have crystals, you know, andaras, crystals, etc., you know, you're working with them, right? You're you know, in partnership with them to create more for your life, for humanity, for the planet, right? So they're not just tools to support you, but it's like you're co-creating together, right? It's a relationship. You're working together to create whatever it is that you have the intention.
Right. They don't carry an emotional body, so they don't have the emotional attachments to things that humans do. And so they can help cut through that when you're having when there's emotion that's clouding your own judgment.
Yeah, they can help with healing, with clearing, with amplifying your energies, like, you know, so much. So I work with, like I said, there's a lot here that I work with on a regular basis, you know, and that they're helping me to be more of who I am. And so we are here to support you in being the best version of you, living your greatest life. So thank you so much, everyone, for being here with us again today. And we look forward to next week. And of course, you can reach out to either one of us in the group, on the page, you know, on YouTube, wherever you happen to see this video. Okay. So thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you for being the gift that you are, that you've came to be an embodiment in this time period.
And until next time, may you continue to be blessed with an abundance of joy, peace, love, happiness, prosperity, and radiant health. Sending you all much love and blessings always.
Bye.
Bye for now.